This is my repair video on a leaky tub faucet. So I had a tough turning handle and a constant drip. This specifically is a Moen product. Here's a look at some of the tools I needed for this. I needed a set of Allen wrenches, a set of vice grips, a Phillips and flat blade screwdriver, a set of needle nose pliers, of course the replacement cartridge from Moen. And what's nice about Moen is Moen will send you a replacement for free under their lifetime or at least 10-year warranty. So that's why I like some of their stuff. So I called them, no questions asked. They sent it, and a week later I had a new cartridge. The other thing you could get is a cartridge puller. And a cartridge puller is made specifically to pop out the cartridge out of the back of the faucet. First thing I had to do here is remove the handle, so I had to use a set of, like I said, metric wrenches. In this case, these are Imperial. Loosen that set screw, which is usually underneath the handle, and then I can pop that handle right off. Then within that, there's usually a stop built in, and it's probably something to adjust the temperature. There's just a standard Phillips screw on that. That'll pop out. And then a lot of times I end up taking off the face in order to be able to get to the cartridge. So a couple quick screws here, take the face off. A lot of times there's a collar that'll kind of trim out the faucet, and then you get actually into the cartridge here. Now with the cartridge, in this case there's a pin. That's where I use my set of needle nose there to pop that up. Now this is the cartridge puller designed specifically for a Moen. It's about $12 at like a Home Depot, and that will pop that thing straight out. That's recommended. If you don't feel like spending the $12 and you know you're going to get rid of the cartridge, I just used a pair of locking pliers or vice grips here to lock on and pull the cartridge out. As long as you lock onto the stem and you don't plan on keeping the cartridge, this will work. It takes a little bit of elbow grease and you can yank that cartridge out. What I did is I inspected inside the brass part here where the cartridge sits, make sure there wasn't anything causing a problem, wipe that out with a rag. The new cartridge came with a Moen's own lubricant there that I'm sure is safe for water. And so that went all over the entire cartridge. I just spread that all over to make sure that handle is going to turn nice and smooth when I reassemble everything. So I spread that completely over. And now we're ready to install the new cartridge. Making sure that the HC is pointing up on the stop there. And then I'm going to reinstall the pin that keeps that cartridge locked in so it can't pull out. Now I put the faceplate back in, put those two machine screws back in with the Phillips head on them. You can tighten it just enough to get it tight to the face. The collar goes back on. Now the stop goes in. Obviously the slot matches up to the collar there. And one unique thing about this collar is you can adjust it to different positions if you'd like your water hotter or colder. I think the standard position sets it to 120, but I think you can set it to higher. Then also you have the stop for the hot and cold to make sure that the shutoff stops and starts exactly where you want it to. And standard configurations should be fine. You don't have to play with this. Just install it the same way you took it off. Make sure the handle fits back on, and then I checked it to make sure that it ended up all the way on and all the way off like it originally functioned. So off should be completely down. Tighten that back up. Reattach your handle. Again, it's easier I think if you rotate it up so you can reinstall that little set screw there. And I always put a rag on my drain to make sure that the little screw doesn't fall down the drain while I'm doing this. You should be able to rotate that handle with one finger. When properly lubricated and installed correctly, everything should work with very little effort and should shut off without any drips. With the water turned back on, I fired it up. Shut off without any problems, and that's a quick fix.